stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.
Hello and welcome back to We Are Mighty. I'm so happy to see y'all again. You know, as the saying goes, tomorrow's not promised. And of course, when you're dealing with a grief journey, that's something that comes to mind a little more often than for other people. How y'all doing? How's the last couple of weeks been for you? It's been a whirlwind. So much going on locally, so much going on in the world in this election season. I'll be glad when that at least is over. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of tired of it, to put it blunt. But I'm so happy you joined me. I hope you like and subscribe so you get the notifications every other Friday when the episodes drop. If not, I hope you come back periodically to make sure you go back to any episodes that you've missed. Remember, we do take your ideas. If there's any topics that you'd like to talk about, I'm giving the email at the top this time. wearemighty24@gmail.com. And we are on Facebook as well. I'll remind you later. So, like I said, it's been a whirlwind the last couple of weeks. Well, yeah, the last 18 months, we can say. But I've noticed people are always saying to me, Tanya, you are like the strongest woman I know. Or you make this look easy. Like you handle this with grace. You handle this so well. Or even, I just don't know how you do it. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I want to tell them, I don't know either. This is all new for me. I try not to be a basket case, I guess, but there are times when I don't want to get out of my bed. There are times that I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to deal with the world. I don't want to deal with life because I'm still grieving. I'm still dealing with the fact that I lost someone so close to me. There's still triggers. There's still so much that reminds me the absence of my child's voice. There's so many things that still come at me. So it may look like I handle it well, or, you just don't see me behind closed doors. You don't see me when I'm driving down the street and a memory may come and tears just roll out of my eyes. Or when I'm at home and it's the quiet moments when I'm just sitting and just out of nowhere, I literally will say I miss my baby. When I walk past his picture and something just triggers in me to just say something to him, say I miss you, say nothing and just have tears. It may look like I handle it well. It may look like I'm so strong. And that's just me trying to force myself to go through day by day because I still have a family. I still have responsibilities. Bills don't stop because somebody in your family died. Nothing stops, unfortunately. And yes, I said it before, I felt like everything was supposed to stop because my baby was gone. And that's just not the case. So I have to, I guess, appear strong in order to make it day by day. But it's not just me. It's like my favorite Mary Mary song. It's the God in me. I know I don't talk about it a lot, but I know that the things that I've had instilled in me, and I know the strength that God has given me is really what helps me through the day. If it was about If it was up to me, I'd probably still be in a corner somewhere. Even though my son died July of 2023. I also had one of my closest friends, my sister, my prayer partner. She died September 20th, 2023. So we're coming up on the year of that, and the emotions and all of that stuff, and remembering what we were doing this time last year, or how I was when I got the call, or how I was when she was placed on hospice. You know, all of those things come back and it feels like it was just yesterday, just this morning, or just like it just happened. It doesn't even feel like that much time has passed. The last probably 18 months have been such a blur for me. And that's how I know it's not me. It's the God in me. He's held me through it because I can't even remember how I got through it. I have a support system, and it's very important to have a support system. People who are there for you, who you can speak to, who you can tell how you feel, who won't judge you, who's there for you for whatever. My problem is I have a hard time articulating what I need. I have a hard time sometimes articulating to other people what I'm feeling in that moment. So even though I have that support system, I don't rely on them like I should. And that's not a good thing. Hopefully you have a support system and you are not as headstrong as I am, and you have no problem going to them, because if they really support you, I know that they will be there to help you through some of those hard times. And God is there for you as well. I just have to get myself to the point where I can say to someone, you know, I'm really feeling down today, and I'm so bad. I will start the text message and say, you know what, today is just not a good day. And you're always there for me. I just thought I'd let you know. And what do? I delete it. Why? Because I don't want that person feeling bad for me, or I don't want to bring their day down. I don't want to burden them with my problems. And that makes me a hypocrite, because I am the one who's always saying to someone, don't worry about it. If you need me, I'm always here. Let me know. I've got your back. I'm there. And I know what I expect for the people who I am a part of their support system. But I am the worst one for leaning on mine. So it's a good thing that I have God to also help me through. I pray more now than I ever did. Sometimes it'll just be middle of the day. I may have to pray saying, Lord, please take this burden away from me, this heaviness of thinking about this grief. Get this out of my head, because sometimes it lingers. The sadness lingers, the depression lingers. And I have to consciously get past it and consciously say, we're not going to allow this today. And I know I've said this in different podcasts and I've mentioned it before, but it's very important, especially going through the grief journey. The journey's not the same day after day. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to trigger you. You never know what will completely destroy your momentum for the day. And a lot of times, it's hard to reach out to someone else to say, okay, I've been destroyed. I can't do this. Today's not going to work. And I'll just talk to God. And maybe it's just me. Everybody deals with things differently, right? I hope you have someone, some entity, we'll say it that way, that you can reach out to, that you can call on to help you through what will be probably the longest quote unquote commitment of your life, because this journey isn't going to end. Your life has changed for the rest of your life. Will it get easier? I hope so. Because I can't tell you, yep, it's going to get easier. You're going to be able to do this. You're going to make it through this. Because I know people who have been dealing with grief 10, 15, 20 years and still talk about it, and it hits them like it was just yesterday. So I can't tell you the time is going to come when you are no longer grieving. I'm beginning to learn that that time may never come, especially for a parent who's lost a child. There's so many things that you think about. My son was only 24, so I think about, he never got married, he never had a child. What would this have been like if he were here? He had a friend who his sister just had a baby, and she named that baby Miles. And I had mixed emotions. At first, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. She named him after Miles. And then it was, Miles should have been here to have his own son to name after himself. These are milestones that he should have been able to accomplish, experience. So then it becomes anger. Nobody else should have had to name a child after my son. He should have been able to name his own. It's weird, the emotions that go along with this journey. And it's nothing that can be predicted. Even when you think something is going to be hard on you, it may not. I avoid certain streets. I can't drive by that building where he was killed, but sometimes I may find myself there. And of course, where I get my esthetician is next door to that building. So there are times that I'm there. And when I'm going for those appointments, most of the time, I don't look that way. So I don't allow it to even come into my head. But earlier this week, I had to drive down that street, and I ended up getting stopped by the red light right in front of that building. And I felt an anxiety attack coming on. Now, I've been there. I get my eyebrows done every 2 to 3 weeks. I've been right there in the building that is attached to it. But for some reason, being stopped at that stoplight, not even looking over, just knowing that building was there, caused anxiety. So you never know. I wish I could predict everything that would cause me to have a setback, everything that would cause me to feel anxiety, everything that would cause me to choke up, to tear up. Because every time I think I know what it's going to be, it's not that. And maybe it's because I'm preparing for it, so it's keeping it at bay. I haven't quite figured that out yet. But there's no way to guess what's going to be an issue. Guess what's not going to be an issue. I remember last Thanksgiving, our youngest son hugged my mom, and he was just wearing a cologne, and she felt he smelled like Miles, and she got choked up. It wasn't the same cologne. It just smelled good. But we knew Miles always smelled good. So you never know. That's why it's important to have a support system, to have a relationship with God, so that you have something that can help you through those moments. I try not to stay on negative and sadness, because there are moments in your life that will still be good. You'll be able to enjoy good times. And I was always the one, and I still have my moments, if I'm honest, who feels bad or who feels guilty for having a good time because my son's not here to share it. It's not fair. And I know how my son would be. He wouldn't want me to be that way. But it's difficult. It's hard to enjoy life because I know the moments that I enjoyed, he was either involved in or I'd call and discuss with him. So I do have my moments when I'm speaking to him because I go and I clean his grave marker and give, put flowers down. Of course, it's absolutely not the same. And even then, I cannot pull off from the cemetery without crying. It'll get easier. I just don't know when. But I'm counting on it. I'm counting on being able to have a week without getting choked up. I probably should be able to settle right now for 2 to 3 days without it because it still happens. But it doesn't last as long as it used to. So that, in my book, is a win. I get choked up where I used to completely break down and sit in a corner and just not do anything. No interaction, no nothing. Just leave me alone. And I may sit there for 20 minutes. Now I feel it coming on. I may cry for a few minutes. And then I catch myself. Okay. We dealt with that moment. The memories came out of our eyes in tears. All right, let's take a deep breath and let's move on. Lord, give me strength to move on. Now, will it happen again in a few hours? It might, from something completely different. But baby steps. You gotta take the baby steps. You've got to start somewhere. You don't want to be consumed by your grief. And I use that term a lot because it can absolutely consume you. And if you allow grief to consume you, it does so much more than just emotional, mental. It can consume you physically. It can affect your health. It can affect every fiber of your being if you allow it. So we have to take those steps to put it at bay. Not ignore it, because we can't ignore it. It's a part of our life. But we can at least put it to where we can function. Like I said last time, I'm a functioning depression sufferer. Depressive. I don't know the word. I meant to look it up, but I forgot. But to be able to function while still dealing with it. Yeah, that's part of dealing with it, right? It's been over a year. Doesn't feel like it. I feel like it was just yesterday that we were bowling. I hugged my son, kissed him, told him, be careful, I love you, like I always do. And that was the last thing I was able to say to him. I'm glad the last thing that I said to him was, I love you. Not that he would have questioned it. He knew. That even with his older brother, who's a truck driver, last thing we say on the phone is always, I love you. And I'm always telling him, be careful, I love you. And sometimes when hanging up with him and saying that, it triggers me. try to be strong for my family because I know I'm not the only one who's dealing with it. I'm not the only one who misses him. I'm not the only one who has memories pop up. My older son and I have moments where we just talk about crazy things that he did and we laugh, and then that awkward silence happens. And we both know that that's that moment where we're starting to feel the emotion of the loss. And we try to move past it. Or we get off the phone. But there's nothing wrong with reliving the memories. That's what keeps me going a lot of times. The funny memories. My older son says he'll sometimes have something happen. He'd do something stupid and he'll look up like, yeah, I know you laughing. It's how he copes with it. I feel like sometimes he's a lot stronger than I am. And being that they were only 2 years apart, he and his brother were attached at the hip. Everybody deals with it differently, right? So we all have to do what's necessary. We all have to do what's required, which may sound harsh. Do what's required. But you have to do what's required to keep yourself going. Whatever it is that's required to move forward. Whatever it is that's required to take a day at a time, at least. You have to do it. You have to build the strength. You have to build the confidence that you can make it through the day. And if you can't make it through the day, start with making it through the hour. Making it through the next couple of hours. And it just grows. It's interesting to try to tell you how to deal with it because I can't tell you how to deal with it. I can only give you pointers. But I just hope you don't allow it to take over your life. I've gotten to the point where I feel like, and some people say, oh, you're entitled or, but I feel like I say to people too much. Well, my son was killed. Because again, it's a part of my life. But it's a part of my life. So I try not to throw it on others so much. I wear this necklace. It's got a picture of him when he was a baby. And a picture of him when I think shortly after he graduated from high school. And a lot of times people are like, oh, that necklace is so cute. Is that your son? And I'll catch myself, yeah, this is my son. He was killed last year. Why? Why is it necessary to do that? Why do I feel it's necessary to do that? So I consciously now, I may say, oh yeah, it's my son Miles. And just leave it at that. Now, if more questions come out, then I may mention it. But I'm trying to be intentional with not making it a constant topic of conversation. Again, it doesn't mean it's not a part of my life. But I'm not the pity party type of person. I don't want you to pity me. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. And maybe that's where the strength is shining through. But I don't want that type of sympathy. Oh, I feel so bad for her. Because I already feel bad enough. And I don't want you to feel bad. I do what I do in our community to bring attention to gun violence so nobody else has to go through this. Not so people will look at me like, oh, hey, I know her. That's Tanya, man. Her son was killed. That's such a tragedy. I feel so bad. No, what I want is, hey, I know her. That's Tanya. Her son was killed. Now she's out there trying to make sure this happens to less people. The goal is that it doesn't happen to anyone. But the world we live in, that's going to take a miracle. A miracle definitely ordained by God. But the goal is to reduce the gun violence. We'll start in our neighborhood, start locally, and then branch out wherever we can. Globally, I don't care. No mother should have to go through what I did, no matter the age of their child. So I encourage you, if you don't already have a support system, I'm sure there's someone near you who's willing to be there. I had a friend within 48 hours of my son's passing who, she called me, what do you need? And I kept saying, I don't know. I don't need anything. I'm fine. Please don't bring no more chicken to my house. And what she did was she showed up and she just sat with me for a while. Didn't say anything. She just sat there. She held my hand for a little bit. She made sure I was clean. Did you take a shower? Yes, I took a shower. But then she just started picking up around the house, which was really weird for me because, yeah, but she washed the dishes. She just did whatever to just let me know that she was there. And that meant more than she could ever know because nobody has ever done anything like that for me. And like I said, she stopped asking, what do you need? She would call, be like, all right, I'm bringing you lunch. All right, I'm coming by. I'm going to do this. Or she'd just come to the house and do it. And I guess for me, that's the only way that someone was able to do anything to help me because I could not say, oh, I need this. Can you do this? Can you give me this? Oh, do you mind? No. I would try to do it myself or it just wouldn't be done. But there's nothing wrong with having a support system. It's very important. I've gotten a little bit better. I can call my friend and, we may pray. We may just talk about how we're both doing. She actually, shortly after I lost my son, she lost her father. So we're on this grief journey together. And I tried to return the favor for her because of the way she was there for me. It's crazy how these things happen. And it happens to everyone. But when it gets so close to home, it puts so many things into perspective. I thank God for the friends that I have. I thank God for the people who have been here for me, who are still here for me. And even people who I didn't expect, I may not have seen them for a while and still say, hey, I heard about Miles. I'm here. Or I wanted to do this. Or, I've been watching your podcast and, it's wonderful that you're trying to do what you're trying to do. And it's people that I would least expect. So it's making me keep going. Because there's times when I'm like, I cannot do this. But I'll never let anyone on the outside see it. It's a gift and a curse. I'm still working on it, I promise. But that's the thing about this journey. You're always going to be a work in progress. There's always work to do. There's always effort. There's always improvements. So I won't feel bad about still working on it. And you continue to work on it as well. in everything you do and all that you do. Be true to yourself, be strong, and be mighty. We are here every other Friday, everywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can watch us on Spotify and YouTube. Be sure to check out our We Are Mighty Facebook page for the podcast. And if you would like to be a guest, or if you have any topic ideas, or if you'd just like to say hi, you can email us at wearemighty24@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you. If not, I hope you're hearing me at least. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.